Once again, we just really press with every video that we are not trainers and assessors. We cannot tick you off and assess you in any of this stuff, even in physical. These videos should never ever be taken as formal training. If you do, and we highly recommend it, if you do want to seek formal training or go and climb with qualified guides to safeguard you, we have recommendations and links on all our videos and all of our pages for people that we highly regard within our area. If you're in a slightly different area, look for people that are qualified to actually teach you these things physically on site, or guides to take you out safely climbing. Again, we are not trainers and assessors. These videos are not formal training.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about basic mistakes made by beginner hikers. The idea of this channel initially was climbing and a focus on that with my brother. But I found more and more that I am relying on this channel myself. So that means that I'm going to be changing up the content just a little bit. I'm hoping to put some climbing stuff in. But for the moment we're going to focus on some other stuff. And today I'm going to look at some basic mistakes made by beginner hikers, in my opinion. Moving into this video, I wanted to very quickly speak on the whole idea of the expedition trip. New Zealand, for several reasons, isn't going to happen this year. Unfortunately, I'm going to keep whatever money I made through crowdfunding and other ways stashed away for a future adventure. But yeah, New Zealand with 2 people, flights, accommodation, rental car, fuel, food, hut fees. It was just a way too much, and we just couldn't make it work. So unfortunately that's been put on the back burner. I'm really hoping next winter to get down south, New South Wales, and do some snow stuff as much as I possibly can. But I'm still figuring that out with the funds that I have. So that's just a very quick update on where things are at. And, it's really unfortunate NZ didn't happen and that it didn't come through this year. But I have high hopes that next year I will get more done in the way of alpine climbing and mountaineering. So that's where the hopes are at the moment. Again, this year for me has been really hard mentally and physically. So a lot has been put on the back burner, and I'm just hoping that next year I will be in a better space in many ways to get a lot of more things done. I'm going to try to keep this short because I do like to ramble at times when I'm filming. So, number 1, stuff outside of your pack. There is a few instances where I do this, and that is snowshoes, crampons, maybe a rope, and a cell sleeping mat. Now, when I say cell sleeping mat, I mean this, an accordion type sleeping mat. These are very durable and very cheap. So at times I will keep this on the outside of my pack. And like I said, the other bits that I keep outside are snowshoes, crampons, maybe a rope. Apart from that, I keep everything else inside my pack so it doesn't get damaged, it stays dry, and honestly quite a few other reasons that I'm not going to go into. I will quickly say I love the cell sleeping mats because they are light, easy to carry, and they add extra comfort and some extra warmth if I'm in a hammock. So they are fantastic. I love them. I take that and then another sleeping mat as well if I'm in a tent. Hammock, I may or may not take one or both depending on the weather, but that's a whole different topic. Now, the other bit I want to talk about, and this depends on who you are. I personally am very against water sacks, Camelbacks, as the brand is. I find that when you're hiking, especially through hiking several days, you drink far more water and you don't realise. Whereas when you have to take a bottle out of a pack and drink out of it, you realise how much water you have. And you know how to work that before you're going to get to your next water source. Whereas if you're just relying on a Camelback, you can drink far more water than you realise and run out before you get to a water source, which is not great. I've never had it happen, but if it did, it would not be good because you would have to get to that next water source before you could drink again. So I rely on water bottles and not Camelbacks. You could do a mix of both, but that's extra weight. So it just depends. I personally do not like them. I personally say go with water bottles. Water bottles are better. You can judge the amount and you can see how far you've got until you need to refill. Now this next bit, again, I could do an entire video on this, but hiking poles. I personally love them. Some people see them as an older person's game. I've used them pretty much the entire time that I've been really hiking outside of high school. So yeah, that's quite a few years that I've been using them. And now there's a certain way that you can use them where you tuck your hand in 180 degree and you pull down. This way, when you're walking uphill, you can pull down on the pole as needed. And that's putting pressure through your arms and through your legs with your pack. And when you're going downhill, again, you can put these in front of you and slow you down and stop the pain in the thighs, in the knees, and elsewhere. Again, this is an entire video I could do, but I love hiking poles, and I do think that this works wonderfully where you put your hand through, loop it 180 and pull down. This way you can go between holding the actual hold and pulling down on the pole when you need to on intense uphills and intense downhills. Not so great on steps, but in most hiking environments, absolutely great where you do that 180, pull down, and you've got that uphill, pulling on your arm, downhill, slowing yourself down, and saving your joints. So again, just double-handed, one through, 180, down, one through, 180 down, boom. And then you're pushing up, 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 or down, 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 saving the joints. For me, they save a lot of unnecessary pain on my hips and my knees. And, some people wait until they're a lot older to use them. I've been using them for years now. And I really do think that it has paid off and that it stopped a lot of pain in my joints on longer hikes and more intense uphill and downhill hikes. Again, this one is going to be depending on who you are, you might disagree with this, but unneeded gear. So in any circumstance, I like to double up and use the gear that I've got for several different purposes. For instance, I never pack a pillow. I'll use my sack of clothes or even my pack as a pillow and things like that, just to keep things minimal, as low a gear as I can possibly keep in the pack, and know that I can use things for 1, 2, 3 different reasons. I love that. Some people I know, as they're getting a little bit older, they like to pack some extra things for comfort. You know, if I was going to pack extra things, it would be like a book or something. And I guess that's where my difference comes in. You know, I would prefer to use my pack as a pillow and have a paperback book to read at night, and use as much gear as possible for many reasons. Again, depending who you are, you might like to pack a pillow, you might like to pack this or that, and you know, that's fine. This is just my personal packing, where I like to at least double up on as many items as I can. Now, my final one I have is dehydrated meals. Personally, I hate them. They taste gross, they have no flavour, they're expensive, so many reasons. It's so much easier, even like if I'm hiking in a group, we spread them food across each other so that we're all carrying a little bit of extra weight. Whereas even if I'm with myself, I prefer to just pack food that I've bought, you know, pasta, sauces, fillings that aren't going to go off, things like that. But dehydrated meals, to me, they cost a fortune. They have no flavour. To me, they're just horrible. I would prefer to go and buy ingredients I know I like to eat, and I know how to make them on a Jetboil or a Trangia or whatever I'm using. And in that way, I know that I'm going to enjoy my meal. It's going to be nutritious. It's going to give me what I need. It's not going to be dehydrated foods that just have nothing except the nutrition. And again, depending who you are, you might disagree with this, and that's fine. I've just never come across any dehydrated meals that actually taste as good as buying ingredients and cooking yourself. And to me, they weigh about the same. If I buy dehydrated or if I buy particular items, they weigh the same, really. So I prefer to cook and to use different items that I've bought from the grocery store, from IGA or, you know, Woolworths or Coles or whatever, and make meals that I know I like and are going to taste good. Add on to that, you know, when you're on especially a long hike, say several days, even 2 days, you want to be eating food that you enjoy. If you're eating food that you don't enjoy, it's just not a great experience. So that's why I like to buy ingredients I know I like, I know I will enjoy, and I'm the kind of person that will eat the same thing over and over and over and over again. But I know what to buy, and I know what I like to eat over and over and over again, as opposed to the dehydrated meals, which to me have always seemed very bland or just absolutely disgusting. I do apologise again for the lack of content on this channel. This year has been quite hard on me mentally and physically, health-wise. So I have released very little videos because I've been relying purely on myself and not the idea that the channel was to be working with my brother. So again, I apologize for the lack of content, and I hope to be doing more in the future, but it's where I'm at the moment. And yeah, it's been a hard year on me physically and mentally. So I'm trying to do as much as I can, but at the same time also keep my health in mind. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, ideas, please comment or message me or whatever. Yeah, just thank you, and I'll see you later. Cheers.